Did you know that the pet care industry is a billion-dollar industry and it is continuously growing? But are the people who care for your pets growing as well? I'm Dara Forleo, and on the Business of Pet Care, we are going to talk about what really goes on behind the scenes of those grooming tables, those daycare walls, and those social media filters. Welcome to the Business of Pet Care, where we examine systems, strategy, decisions that are shaping modern pet businesses today. I'm your host, Dara Forleo, and today I am excited to finally get joined by Marcy Lambert. And this is a new one for me because Marcy is the founder of Marcy's Pet Kitchen, and it is a brand that is built around limited ingredient, functional, fantastic, specialty designed treats specifically for sensitive stomachs. And as we're getting started, we are going to start talking about defining what it means to build a product around such a specialized
market. Yeah.
And how this changes. So
I know.
amazing. Tell me
Thank
first,
you.
really quick, welcome. I am excited to
Thank
have you
you.
on. And how did you get into this?
Well, that is a loaded question. Okay, so I always loved animals, dogs specifically, just obsessed with. And I always wanted to feed my dogs better, but I didn't know how at the time. You know what I mean? Like when I was growing up and yada yada, then I got my own two dogs. But what really struck me as a defining moment was my two labs at the time, Max and Munson. They were both like one's a silver, one was a chocolate and one was a black lab, and they had major sensitive stomachs. They had major allergies. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember telling my husband, I don't know why I cannot get a treat on the market that takes away all the top allergens and is sensitive, and is gentle on my dog's stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, my two pups, they pass away rather quickly of cancer. So then it got me thinking more vegetables. And I know dogs, they eat raw, a lot of them, and they eat meat, and I get that. But adding a little functional, bright, vibrant vegetables has to help. So I planned this awesome thing where I was going to make this treat that was great for diabetic dogs. It was great for sensitive tummies and wonderful for dogs with allergies, but also made with superfood. So it's great for all dogs. So in this case, it's a very inclusive wellness brand we have. And that's where it started. And then I started doing that and I got Barkley, and Barkley, my silver lab, was laden with allergies and I couldn't give him anything on the market. And I said, well, I can't be alone. So let's put a treat out there where you can actually pronounce the ingredients and let's see if we can do this. And that's what I did.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I feed a home cooked
Oh, that's wonderful.
for
Yeah.
our girls, and a lot of people are like, how do you do that? What do you do with that? Like,
yeah.
why? And I still sprinkle it with kibble for them, but
Sure.
they're so much they don't shed as much. They're so much healthier. So
exactly, because you're giving them whole foods.
yeah, and we cook it. We slow cook it down,
Oh,
and they love it. They know. Oh, it's
of
dinner time,
course.
breakfast time. When you look at this category, and we know this is a huge category out in the pet industry. Where do you see that disconnect?
I see it everywhere, to be honest with you. I've seen it, and these particular treats are vegan based. However, I saw it everywhere. There just wasn't everything I'd get my dog would trigger something, would trigger an ear infection, would trigger stomach upsets, bad diarrhea. And I got fed up. So I decided to make my own treats. And I really feel that disconnect, that gap can be closed. And I know of some other brands that are coming out with super wholesome treats, and it's wonderful to see. And I think that gap is slowly closing with smaller companies doing it.
And that takes it. Somebody's got to step up and go, we're going to take care of this for the overall community, because everybody else is targeting so many things at
Yes.
once. So it really
Yes.
dilutes
And
it.
there's so many buzzwords and marketing claims, and we can go into that later if you want. But yes, and it can be so utterly confusing. It was confusing for me as a dog mom before I started this company, it was so confusing. And I remember just being like, there's got to be a better way. Got to.
Yeah. When when you what does functional actually mean? Like, is there
Functional means functional. I don't go word for word like verbatim, but
yeah.
functional is like there's a purpose for that ingredient. There is a purpose that it reflects in your dog's wellness and vitality. It's not like a filler that we put in just to bulk the bag. There is nutritional value and a reason why they are in the bowl. There's a reason why they are in the treats. And if it doesn't measure up, it's out. For
That makes
sure.
total sense. Yeah. And how does that translate?
So, in regards to what do you mean? How
Uh,
does it?
ingredient integrity.
Oh,
Uh,
ingredient integrity.
something pet owners can really understand quickly when they see
Yes.
your brand.
Yes. Well, we use dandelion root, and we were not the very first to bring to market, I'm sure, but we're one of the top ones to bring to market because dandelion root, as you know, has wonderful. It's been used for centuries and has wonderful benefits, but it really also helps with the digestion. It's almost like a pre and probiotic because of the fibrous inulin of it. And I think that definitely is people know that dandelion root helps for digestion. And I think, seeing that, it's like, oh, there's a purpose. Alfalfa, vitality, wellness,
Okay.
purpose.
Yeah.
It's a superfood.
Huh. I didn't know that about dandelion.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that because
Yeah. It's been
I
used
mean,
for centuries.
I wonder if I could add that in because I
You
add like
can, but you have to
turmeric
like
and
double check your portions because depending on your dog's size, a little goes a very long way. And this isn't something that works like right now. It works
right.
every time you use it. So you don't want to overdo it and you don't want to underdo it. So you just
Yeah.
you may want to talk to your vet first just to find out.
Yeah. So I usually like just season it for them.
Hmm.
Like, they're like, oh, we're gonna put in a little bit of garlic. We're gonna put in a little bit,
No, you don't put in garlic, do you?
not just a little bit the garlic powder,
Oh,
not
I mean,
like
honest, how big are your dogs?
they're all under 9 pounds.
Okay. Garlic, as everyone says, garlic is horrible for dogs, but technically they can have a very little bit.
Mhm.
What that little bit is, you would have to speak to your vet to find out.
Yeah,
But
we did.
but I don't normally condone that, like, and tell people to do it because
Yeah,
I can't be there to say, hey, this is enough. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So I'd rather just not be there. But yes, if
They
you know
get
what you're doing, then just a little.
yeah. No, it's just a little to make it
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Totally.
But they get a couple tums with it, to get that calcium. And
Yeah.
but like I said, we always supplement that with a
Yep.
little bit of they get their kibble crunchy on top of their
Yep,
wet.
yep. And you
So
can put in blueberries. And like
yep.
I'm gonna
Oh,
do
they
a whole
get fruit.
segment.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm gonna do a whole
goodness.
segment on raw food and like feeders and stuff and a little bit down the line.
Yeah.
But it's not that I'm into raw or this or that. I don't pick a lane. Like my lane is whole foods. And so depending on what you want for your dog, I'm not going to tell someone you can't do this and you can't do that, because everyone has their own right with their dog. But mine is just to introduce more whole foods, bright,
Yeah.
vibrant foods too.
Bright, vibrant foods. I like that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
so yours is specifically for the sensitive. So adding that in, like
Was
what?
it's all well, it's for every dog to be honest, but it also has a focus. So it's very wellness inclusive, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So it allows multiple dogs to have this. You don't have to be like for instance, you don't have to be diabetic to be eating the Mediterranean diet. We all know it's so healthy. And that's kind of how I view these treats, like Mediterranean. So you don't have to be diabetic, you don't have to be overweight. They're only 5 to 7 calories. So you know what I mean? They're just
You have
very
a bag right
healthy.
there.
Oh my God, where did it go? Okay, I have a little one right here. These are my on the go bags. These are
Yeah,
awesome. They have 8 to 10 treats and you can break them apart for your dog. Like my lab's 100 pounds, but I break it apart sometimes,
yeah. Okay.
because he needs a little more during the day. So I'll
Yeah.
just break them apart. But yeah, and I'm trying to think, I may have one more one. Let's
Yeah.
see. And I have a 5 ounce bag right here of the all natural veggie bites
Oh
as
my.
well. Yeah, so we have the on the goes and we have the 5 ouncers for when you're at home or wherever, work or whatnot.
Can you hear mine screaming in the background?
No, I can't. I think
Oh,
I'm
good.
deaf
Okay. Because
from
they
like
are going
China.
crazy. I can't hear a thing right now.
I'm getting older, you got to give me
Oh
some
my God.
grace.
I don't even know what they're barking at. It was like echoing. I was like, what
We
was
talked about treats, so naturally
we
they're
were
like,
talking
what?
about treats. Okay. All right. So, what else is there for this? What can before we move into
Hmm.
anything else that you can think of that we need to cover right now that like is digestive health?
Hmm.
Trying to think. That's just it's so open. Like
No, it is. And we can talk about, if you wanted, we can talk about, just that the functional ingredients. We could talk about the marketing claims, what's lacking in the industry. I mean, you know,
you tell me, this is your show. Like
it's
I
yours.
want to know it all.
Little way to figure this out.
no, no, it's
Yeah, but there is a disconnect in the industry. And I think people are expecting more, and they rightfully so, because, for a lot of reasons, people don't always trust companies that make these treats. And I understand that. But, coming from where I started, these are pronounceable ingredients. You know what I mean? And therefore, that alone tells a big story.
they're soft.
No, these ones are
They're
hard.
crunchy.
They're hard
Okay.
and crunchy. But some senior dogs, I put a little water in it and it, loosens up for the dogs.
Okay.
Or some people break them into crumbs, but a lot of people just use them as they are, as hearts.
Nice. Oh, I like the hearts. Yes, that I
Yeah,
do
for
remember
sure.
seeing that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, well, we're going to take a quick break. And really quick, I just want you to tell people, where can they find your treats? Where can they find these?
Okay. So we're more direct to consumer. So you can find us at marcyspetKitchen.com, and that's MARCYS petkitchen.com.
Okay. Up next, we are going to be moving into positioning, from positioning to execution, and what it actually took to turn
Lots.
this into a personal, from this personal solution and
Hmm.
turn this into a business. We will be
Yes.
right back. Welcome back to the business of pet care. Want more of what you're watching? Stay connected to the business of pet care and every Now Media TV favorite live or on demand. Download the free Now Media TV app on Roku or ISO. And that is for bilingual in English and in Spanish. You can also catch the podcast at nowmedia.tv, and we are streaming around the clock, ready whenever you are. Welcome back to this segment. Building a better product is one thing, but building a business around that product is another. So, Marcy, welcome back. Let's
Thank
talk
you.
about how you took this idea and turned it into something that has been extremely scalable.
Thank you. So, I mean, if you know me, I'm a pretty driven person. And if there's a challenge, I will rise to that. So, once I had decided that I need to go into production with these treats, I immediately started baking them. And this is what started to happen, and giving them to neighbors and giving them to friends. And then the word just kept going on and on and on.
Going
And
on.
it got so busy. And then I was on Amazon trying to keep up with Amazon with literally with my hands baking. So then I got an extruder, and I got a machine, and I got the ovens, and then I went in my garage and I did that for another year. And I couldn't do it anymore. I'd carpal tunnel. And like this is got, I can't keep up with the orders. So then we moved into manufacturing, and that's, where it started.
That's a big jump.
I know it's a very big junk, but when you have a product and people are enjoying it and they like it and they're having great experiences with it with their dog, they're going to want more, like anything else
Yeah.
that we have out there. And so your demand, the scalability, it's a little scary, but when you're going to jump, you need to just jump. And so that's what I did.
So I hear. It's hard to not when you're an entrepreneur and you're like,
Yeah,
well,
I know.
what are
Well,
you
sometimes
gonna
it's very scary for people,
do?
You have to think like you almost talk yourself out of it. And so my logic in my unsolicited advice to other entrepreneurs was basically think about it logically, but don't overthink it. Just jump. So I'm not telling you to
Yeah.
jump in blindly. Just do not overthink it,
Yeah.
just go for it.
How did you how'd you make that change? I mean, that going so is that mean somebody else you have the ingredients they're producing for you now at
Well,
larger
at that
or
point, when I was in the garage, I was still making them. They were just batches
yeah.
and batches at a time, like,
Okay.
to keep up, and I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
But yes, it was, and then finally, like I had the recipe, but then we have to make sure because I was using unsweetened applesauce, right? When I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
doing it from home because it's a binder. And again, it's unsweetened, so diabetic dogs can eat it. So I was very specific when talking to the production people and stuff. I said, listen, we have to make sure it's also good for diabetic dogs. That was everything to me. Because once it's that healthy for them, everyone else can enjoy it and
Yeah.
just have a wonderful experience. And so that's what I did. And so we had to craft a recipe based on the ones and the portions that I utilized earlier. And so that's what we did. And they came out wonderful. They tasted great because I taste them too.
Well, it's all natural human
It
grade. And so you
is.
should be
Exactly.
able to do that.
Yeah, but I want to be able to do that because I it's my product, I want to stand
Yeah.
behind it. So absolutely.
And so now, and is this company, are they close to you? Can you go see, like, you
They're based in
follow
Illinois. They're based in
Illinois?
Illinois.
Okay.
I have gone several times.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And they must do it for multiple companies too. So they
Yes, they
do
do it for a
batches,
lot of
more
companies,
small
pet
batch, I
companies.
would.
Yes, we
Yeah.
purposely have small batch because more care goes into it.
Yeah.
Everything's a little more precise. And again, that's what we wanted. We didn't want to have any hiccups.
Yeah.
Hiccups are part of business, obviously, and you have to
Mhm.
pivot. But the more you can plan and organize and have this great communication, the better.
Yeah. What was the first like decision to really go in that direction and how that like that's a it's a big scale from
It is.
doing it yourself to making that huge leap. You
Yes.
must
And
have
I didn't
had to
have a
plan.
choice. I was literally sitting in the garage
Okay.
crying, crying because I couldn't keep up with Amazon. I couldn't keep up with the online orders. And I'm just sitting here like, what do I do? Right. So
Yeah.
I have gone to all these pet expos. I've been involved and submerged, obviously, for several years in the pet industry. But nonetheless, it's still something you just got to get the nerve and just jump and it will happen if you want it to and you're determined it will happen.
Yeah. How long did that take?
Well,
Like,
we've been in business for about 4 years and we're really starting to market now, which is great.
okay.
So everyone does things differently. Some people
Mhm.
market right away, some people focus on other things, and then market, and that's what I did. So
Okay.
I built
So
i built a very organic following.
so starting small, local,
Yep. Yep.
building up, scaling up, getting to this company. They do all the packaging, they do all
Yep.
the
Well,
orders.
packaging.
Ah,
Okay,
is that different?
back to what we were talking
Sorry.
about.
I don't
I
know
was
anything about this,
It's
so
okay. I was formerly a creative director. I lived in
oh,
Connecticut
that's
and I
right.
also lived in New York City. So I did branding for a living.
Mhm.
And I felt that I had a little bit of an edge where people have to spend thousands, even hundred thousands on branding. I could do it. And so I did the packaging, but it was a little unconventional because I had, vegetables floating out and,
Yeah.
like what you saw here. But I
Yeah.
really wanted it to tell a story and focus on what is in the wholesome ingredients in the food, and then being whimsical enough to have these little call outs, no preservatives and stuff
Yep.
like that, to really grab the attention of the consumer so they can see, what's in our treats and what's not in our treats, which
And
is
what's
more
not.
important. Hmm.
Because there are so many options out there.
Oh God, yeah,
There's so many.
there are.
So you're not wholesale. You're not shipping. You're still
Well, we
like,
do business to business,
okay.
B2B, and we do
Yep.
have wholesale, but we are more direct to consumer.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
What was there anything that you underestimated when you were launching to there?
I
What is
guess. Hmm.
no, I'm just thinking of starting up going into this
Hmm.
that from garage to manufacturer.
Yep, kitchen to garage to
Manufacturer.
manufacturer.
What did that then you had to reconvert your garage back to a garage.
Yeah, right.
So
Totally.
you got your life back there.
Exactly. Well, for a while I didn't, because fulfillment was coming to my house. And now we have a
Oh,
fulfillment center. So now all the
okay.
fulfillment's done there. So that was a huge step. That
Oh,
was a
wow.
big step I was looking for.
Okay, so that was phase 3 of this growth
Pretty much. I mean,
pattern.
if however you want to break the phase.
I'm just, 4, 5, 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
just thinking that big scale size. So out of the garage again, out of the garage
Yep.
again.
Hmm.
Finally, completely out of the garage and house, except for
Yep.
your computer and home office, and
Exactly.
kind of does itself now.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I have a team that I work with, and they're phenomenal. Um, just couldn't ask for anything more. We are just so passionate about giving the healthiest products to dogs out there and the pet parents. It's such a great feeling, especially when people comment like, "Oh, my dog didn't throw up," or "My dog's stomach was better," "My dog's sugar didn't spike," or "My
Mhm.
dog just absolutely loves these." Simply they're a healthy dog. That's fine. Like we are just over the moon with all that.
Yeah, that's there are because I know I'm going into the grooming side of me.
Mhm. That's
We have
okay. We worked with
those.
groomers too.
I
So
was
yeah.
gonna say that's
Hmm.
one thing that a lot of groomers maybe not always consider is the treats we have at the salons that we might be using as reward base for the dog
Hmm.
may not be always healthy for those pets that we're
Exactly. And you
working.
don't know if you're going to have a diabetic dog unless someone
Yeah,
maybe says something to you, and you don't want them to have sugar
yeah.
spikes or have any issues, giving them an whatever treat. So, I mean, I even reached out to dog friendly airlines to see if they would carry our treats, and it's kind of like a new space a little bit, but at the
Hmm.
same time, people will be like, "That's a great idea. Let me get in touch with so and so and get back to you." So it's exciting. You just have to put yourself out there. And I'm guilty of overthinking things and not doing things too, because I was scared, but right back at it after.
So, are
So
you more of a doer?
yes,
Yeah, I know. When I
absolutely.
work with my coach, she's like, Dara, stop doing so much and focus. Like you are
Exactly.
constantly doing, doing, doing. I'm like, I
Exactly.
know, but I like the creating side.
It's the
So
ADD in everyone.
it's a hard to like not come out of
Yes.
that creating side and be like, okay, what's
Yes. And
next?
then
Okay, what's
shift and
next?
toggle to the next thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
have 90 screens open on 3 computers.
Hmm.
And where was I?
Sorry, my husband's phone's ringing.
Oh, we can't hear it, just like you
It's
couldn't hear
okay.
the dog.
Just
So
making
that's
sure.
good. Yeah, yeah. No, no. So let's say, how about this? I want you to tell people where they can, what stores can we find you at? Where can
Well,
they
we're
find
in we're
you?
in different stores around the country, and they're
Okay.
usually more boutique style, but there are some
Okay.
breweries up in New York and some in
Oh,
Florida that have them. So it's
breweries.
wonderful. Yeah, breweries, because they're pet friendly spaces.
Yeah.
So we keep the on the go ones there, and they can just put it in their pocket with their dog, and it's a hit. It's a
I,
hit. I mean, I knew we had to do on the goes, because when I take my dog places, I'm fumbling to find something. You know what I mean? And
that
I'm
makes
like,
total
now I
sense.
put them in a zipper bag or in like some kind of like whatever, a pouch. And now it's like, I got it right there.
That was really smart.
Thank you.
Instead of
Well,
putting them in your
everyone's
pocket.
on the go.
Yeah.
Children are on the go. I mean,
Hmm.
everything's about on the go. So I want to make something, again, super healthy and wholesome. That's going to be wonderful for dog rewards.
Yep. All right.
Hmm.
Well, we're going to take another quick break, and coming back, we are going to step into and look at the category itself, where healthy pet treats break down and why consumers are often misled. Gonna get to the
Yes.
nitty gritty of
Gritty.
this. We will be right back. Welcome back to the business of pet care, the pet tree category. Oh my gosh, so crowded. Like
And
you can
overwhelming,
find
right?
it is overwhelming. Yeah, but definitely not transparent. So welcome back, Marcy. This is fantastic. We were just saying, this industry, you walk into any of those big, even smaller chains, small
Yep.
boutique, and there are so many options, like healthy, natural. I mean, it's the same for us with
Yes.
grooming.
It's a lot of buzzwords,
A lot of buzzwords. So what what
Do I think about
what
it?
are they getting away with? No, I mean, like,
I
how do those
know.
buzzwords they trigger? They hit our emotional side.
Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, healthy treat is not really regulated in, working with like dog foods and stuff like that. It's more of a marketing term. When I think of healthy, I personally think it's got to have a reason that it's in there, like it's functional, or maybe I'm just saying it tastes good, but it has something else with it, right? There's a purpose for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a lot of people nowadays, or for a while, they've been using those buzzwords, and something could be all natural, and it could be one of those like cute cookies that are all full of sugar, but because it's all natural sugar and all natural this or that, that they can get away with saying all natural. You know what I mean? And when we think, I mean, when I think all natural, I think no funny business, no shortcuts, no fillers. That's what I think when I
No
think all natural.
fillers.
But the
Yeah.
truth is, you can have something, again, organic. They can say it's organic, and everyone's like, "Ooh, but organic, is it really organic?" Right?
Yeah.
And last I heard, and last I researched as well, people can't really guarantee that nowadays.
And then they charge a much higher price for
Oh yeah.
something that is not
Hmm.
clearly
Yeah. And
dated.
quite frankly, I didn't even want to do that, because if I physically cannot be there on the farm to say these are organic, I'm not going to put my name behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that's another conversation too. I mean, going down that direction.
Yeah.
When so I'm thinking of an aisle and all
Sure.
the treats. They're all on the left in bags and boxes.
Yes.
High to low, high to low. How, if yours, I would imagine, being small batch, are going to be more front and center, put up by the register,
Well,
talked
those would
about.
be more for these. The on the go ones are more
Yeah.
impulse buys, but they're healthy impulse buys.
Okay.
The other ones are actually hanging or on people's shelves. And they're usually, from what I've seen so far, they're usually a little above eye level.
Okay.
So that was really good. But
yep.
Yeah. So you're gonna ask, how do they pick yours, or how do they pick the one out that they like?
No, I'm thinking of exactly that, where it was sitting strategically placed. I mean, I know when we think marketing and talking about like going to the store, and you're like, people don't look up, people don't look down. And so that middle of the row is typically the most purchase item.
It's the biggest real estate on shelf space.
Yeah,
And the
so
end cap,
just
for sure.
being about that that's a really good place to be.
Absolutely. And like, we're talking to some major stores right now, and we're like excited, but we don't get ahead of ourselves. So, maybe one day you'll see us at the end of an end cap of an aisle somewhere. So that's also a goal.
But not, only in the right store.
Of course. Only in the right store.
Only in the right store. That's very huge.
Important.
Yes. So the ingredients, you had talked about fillers. What are considered
fillers? like soy, cellulose, like even I'm trying to think what else. Gluten,
Corn.
the wheat, corn, yeah, everything that I remove from our treats. So in our treats we have zero corn, we have zero gluten, we have zero dairy, and of course that being wheat free, obviously.
Yeah.
We I can't even think off the top of my head. We have no GMO, no soy. I mean, it's a very clean treat.
Why do you think all of those are so much more dominant as in the majority of the
I mean, the fillers
treats?
in the
Yeah,
treats.
yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly think that a lot of companies, when they get bigger, they kind of, and this isn't everybody, but in my opinion, some of them lose their way. And I think they're more about, there's always people that are about the bottom line, and there's always people that want to do the right thing. And, it just works out that way sometimes, and people do make extra money when they put in these fillers because the cost of them is so cheap and there's no nutritional value, but people, they don't always know, and it's hard because as a dog mom, I told you, I was like, what is all this? You're saying it's healthy, but I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, I'm seeing fillers, but it's all natural. Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? And and then on top of that, it's not even about the treats too or the food, it's also about how it's being processed. So if it's a high
Okay,
heat,
that's
all that
great.
nutrition comes out. If it's
Yep.
air dried or freeze dried, it really holds those nutrients. But freeze dried, for those that really care about our environment, is very it leaves a big carbon footprint. I don't know too
Huh.
much detail, but it does leave a big carbon footprint.
And yours are
Mine are baked, gently
baked.
baked, gently,
Baked.
yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah.
Low.
And low bit, yeah, because you said that high
Yeah,
heat. I'm just
exactly.
thinking
No
back
high
to
heat.
some of the nutrition classes I've
Yeah.
taken in the
Because that if you
past of
have high
how,
heat, yes, it'll burn it off. So you got to
yeah,
be very careful what you do.
which is why we slow cook a lot of stuff
Hmm.
because it
Absolutely. You
doesn't
know
bring
it.
out that, yeah. Do you have just one flavor? Do you have multiple flavors?
I have three. I
Three
have
flavors.
the veggie bites, the peanut butter, and the pumpkin. And it's so funny because on Amazon, because we're on Amazon, the veggie bites were number one, and now the peanut butter is number one, and the pumpkin's number one in the stores. So you get
Huh.
different demographics that want different things,
Yeah.
and have
Yeah.
different
And
favorites.
it's probably, I would think that you're more, are you, do you know that target audience? Are they more Gen Gen Z? You got that?
We have a lot of people. Baby boomers initially were my first set of
Okay.
customers. Really, it was great. But I get all sorts, anywhere from about 30 to about 70, to be honest with you. And we like to advertise and showcase our stuff in a way that is digestible in pieces to everybody. So we're not always like, this is for Gen X and this one's for Gen
Right,
Z,
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we're just very inclusive company, but we do know our demographic, of course.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm going now. You mentioned just a little bit ago about education as a pet owner.
Yes.
What
Hmm.
do you do for educating owners
Hmm.
that are looking at? Do you have pamphlets? Do you have handouts? How is
Yes,
it on
I
your
do have some
website?
pamphlets, but what I want to do going forward, I had already thought of this actually in the beginning of the year, is I want to put together guides, only if it's
Oh,
content rich, right? So guides that show people, okay, this is a healthy treat, this is all natural, but really look at the ingredients. It's got, flour in it, or wheat flour. It's got, pink coloring if it's decorative, things like that. So you know what's in there. But I also want to do a guide that shows people, hey, if you get something that is high pressure baked, it's like flash baked, high heat, you're losing your nutrients. If you're doing XYZ, maybe there's another affordable way for people to mix kibble with some air dried in there, or put the whole foods of blueberries and things on there to get more nutrients.
yeah.
There's a lot of ways, it can work.
Oh, our girls love blueberries.
I know my dog loves it
They
too.
love, well,
And
they're
pumpkin's always a good one.
they like their pumpkin too. Yeah, they get
Yes.
pumpkin. They love they'll actually our well, our Texas little girl, she likes pickles.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
They'll eat lettuce, they like spinach.
Yes.
It's like fair game, hits the floor, yeah, we'll
Yes.
eat it.
Yes,
They are so
absolutely.
bad. So a funny
And
story.
mhm,
I got to tell you that because I think you'll appreciate it.
what?
So, when I opened the academy back in 2015, I put together
Mhm,
my nutrition class, which is
mhm.
very basic, simple.
Sure.
But I went out and collected, and I still have my binder of all the, because I talk a lot about this with
Mhm,
our students and what they got to know a little bit about reading a pet food label.
mhm,
And I had taken all of the companies that I'd purchased bags from, and I
mhm,
went to a store and I put them all in mason jars.
mhm.
And for 10 years, they all lived. I went from the highest price to the lowest price
Oh
point.
my God, what an
All
amazing little thing you did there.
all
Experiment.
in, and I didn't even know I was doing it up until we got ready to throw it away. And I will tell you what, every single bag, none of the food ever went bad.
Oh boy.
None of it, like there
And it
was
would have heavy
nothing.
preservatives and stuff. I mean, our treats have no
Yes.
preservatives. Our shelf life is 2 years because there's an antimicrobial process that they go through. So I don't no longer have to put potassium sorbate in them. That's what I used when I was making them. I had no
Okay.
choice because they would go bad after 5 days. So,
Right,
and
right.
again, that was a learning process.
Yeah.
So I started that and I would tell people in the very beginning, put it in your fridge. You got like about 5 days, right?
Yep.
And then as we started to move and going to more of the expos and learning even more and just about everything, the industry, I obviously I had to put in preservatives because there's
Yeah,
no way
you
they would
can't
take.
not.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you when we opened them
Yeah.
up and it was like, wow, this is
Did you
like
look
it
at the
came.
expiration dates? Was it
Oh, I
way
had the bag.
past?
Yeah, I had all the bags.
Oh my God. You made me
Oh,
want to
yeah.
do that too. I should
Oh
leave them
my
for
gosh.
10
I
years and
had
just.
all the bags. You want to know the only thing that went bad were the bones. The
Mhm.
like I bought some rib bones and they were
Yeah. Yeah.
and couple like elbows, just some little
Okay.
bones that we stored
Mhm.
just to show the difference between this is like a actual real bone, not
Mhm.
because we did a big
Yeah.
comparison
Not
between that and
manufactured.
rawhide.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and look, the rawhide is in perfect pristine condition
Mhm.
versus the bone, which we could see it getting moldy.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
could see that process and what was happening in the jar with it. So it was
Mhm.
interesting.
That's
But
so interesting. But we try to stay away from anything that's a science experiment, like for us, like when it comes to inclusivity of ingredients, and also dealing with dogs and allergies and dogs that have intolerances to dairy, which is a lot of them and things of that nature. It it's really it's really interesting just to see how people kind of walk through that process. Everyone does something different. So my dog,
everyone,
he was
yeah.
so bad with his allergies, he had alopecia.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, was missing hair, and I was doing everything. But I live down in Tampa, Florida, and so outside the pollen is insane. So I think that completely triggered him because a lot of dogs were going to the vet for the same reason, like red
Mm.
raw paws, the whole nine
Yeah, all
yards.
those. Yeah. We got to
Yeah.
take a quick break.
Okay.
But up next, we are going to close out with some practical guidance for what pet owners should actually be looking like and what
Mhm.
founders need to understand before entering this space.
Mhm.
We will be right back. Welcome back to the Business of Pet Care. In this final segment, we are going to be focusing on the decisions and what pet owners and future product founders need to understand and know before they get into this. Because this is not as simple as just, I want to make
Yeah.
homemade dog treats and give
No.
them away or even sell them just locally. So you really have to have some understanding of this.
Yeah.
How did you, what research, what did it take for you to get started?
Well, I researched a whole lot. I read a whole lot. I read a lot of studies, and I
Mhm.
have also a lot of contacts as well in the pet industry. So I was able to do all my own research, determine everything that I wanted to. And if I had a little hiccup or like a missing link, I would contact a friend and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, or this, you know what I mean? Something of that nature, depending, because it's a cottage industry, you know what I mean? So you have sales tax, you have all this stuff, and like trying to figure it out and navigating it can be kind of difficult, You have to get your packages through compliance. There's just a lot that goes through that, that you have to do. And it's not easy, but if you, like I said, if you're driven and you're passionate about bringing something to the market for pets, like don't give up, like
Yeah.
keep at it, and there's, and people fail and people say no, and that's okay, but that's how you learn from it. The worst thing someone could say is no. You just
Mhm.
keep at it. You stand behind your product. People stand behind your product. It's a good product. So just keep at it.
What I think a lot of people don't quite, and I'm thinking of pet owners who may be watching
Hmm.
this, other business owners who want to potentially get into this, but
Hmm.
the process, it's
Yes.
again, it's not as simple
It's
as
grueling.
just,
It's very grueling in the beginning. I mean, it's all grueling. But I mean, like if you
well,
had to pick, I think the manual labor is what, that's
the
very grueling.
that but as well as getting your treats licensed
Yes.
properly,
Hmm.
analyzed
Hmm.
properly.
And it took forever before I found the manufacturers that I approved of in Illinois
Oh,
to do these treats. It took like 2 years. I had been looking for
oh my
2 years.
gosh.
Yes.
Really?
While I was baking. Yes. No joke.
Oh,
No
that's
joke.
crazy.
People are like,
So,
oh, well, we could do this in there and it was a cheap ingredient. I'm like, no, you know what I mean? Or this or that. And I'm like, no. And they just were, I didn't feel that they were really hearing me. And I'm not going to put a product in someone's hands if they don't believe in it, or
yeah,
if
yeah.
they just think it's whatever, you know what I mean? I want someone just as passionate who knows what we're producing for all these dogs out there to be behind it.
Hmm. The
Hmm.
licensing process alone, to get it, did you have to go through a federal or a state
Girl, you're
process?
asking the wrong girl. I am so bad with that. And that
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh, you had to have gone through that
no,
process
I
then.
did. I did. You had like
Yeah.
state registration, you had
Yeah.
your state compliance, they have to look over your packaging, you have
Yep.
AFCO. There's like a lot
Yep.
of things.
Yep.
And
Okay.
and if you do want to start a company, that's great. You can start it small. Just know whether you want to jump or know whether you like it small and keep it small. Maybe you want to sell the business because you don't want to deal with it. I mean, there's a lot of options you have out there.
That's the one thing I wanted to say about that, because I see in my industry a lot of people who on the holidays
Hmm.
are, we're just going to make treats and give them to our clients during the
Hmm.
holidays as gifts. And I really am like, no, don't do that.
Hmm.
Because if there's no expiration date on that and the dog gets
Hmm.
sick, if they feed it late or
Hmm.
it goes bad and the owners
Yeah,
don't
you don't want to be
know,
responsible for
you're
that.
going to be
Yeah.
responsible for that. That is not a good look to have on a
No. Well,
business.
that's why you got to be on it all the time. You got to be
Yeah.
with it. You got to know what you're putting in your treats. You got to have it measured. This is like in the very beginning. You have to measure it accurately, like everything. You have to bake it thoroughly,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't want to leave anything, because then it turns to mold.
Yeah.
So there's just,
Quickly.
yeah, you have to know
Yeah.
what you're getting
So pet
into.
owners, you guys watching too, remember that when you make treats at home.
I know, right? Be sure that you
There's
put it in
some
the
great
fridge.
little cookbooks out there
Well,
for
we
people to
have
do.
on YouTube, on the Marcy's Pet Kitchen channel, I gave away my original veggie recipe from
Okay.
back when I started with the applesauce. So people can, subscribe. And I have a lot of short formats, that discuss a lot of things from hydrolyzed protein to dogs with allergies to even purchasing treats and foods and thinking again that you got a great deal, and because these ingredients show it's let's say it's a kibble, the ingredients show that there's cranberries and blueberries. That's wonderful, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's the misleading part. Because it's high heat, it turns into simple syrup, so you're not giving your dog what you originally thought because the molecular structure has changed. So there's
Because
a
you have
lot
to
of
bake
things
them
that,
thoroughly. Yeah.
well, it's not that it has to be baked thoroughly. These are overbaked. So the nutrition
Overbaked.
loses. And so it's almost like if you took blueberries and made a simple syrup for a dessert, that's like what it is.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to also put together a guide that helps pet parents say, oh, if it's freeze dried, this is it. If it's raw, this is it. Things like that. So people are aware of, oh, wait a minute, what's this? Oh, this is a kibble. I remember her saying something about high heat and loss of nutrition. Oh, let me try
Hmm.
something else.
Coming back to the raw, you mentioned that earlier in one of the first
Mhm.
segments about raw. What can you give a little bit of information on that from your perspective?
Yeah. So from my perspective and stuff, you do about 60%, I believe. And again, this you'd have to check with your vet. And it also
Always check
depends
with
on
your
your
vet.
dog. And if your dog is diabetic, you really need to check with your vet.
Yeah.
But usually 60% is a really good protein. And then they put maybe like 20% of something like, I'm trying to think, like lung parts or liver or kidneys,
Hmm.
things like that for more richer organs for
Yep.
nutrition. And then sometimes people add other things like vitamins or bone broth, things like
Bone
that to
broth.
add
Yep.
more, you know. Um, and I'm trying to think what else. I
My
think,
girls love
oh,
chicken feet.
sometimes they put a little, yeah, and sometimes, no, oh, wait, sometimes they put a little, like fruits, whole foods in it, which is where I like to be putting in
Yeah.
the whole food. So it's really showing people about, you don't have to do raw. If you want to do great, if you have kibble and you want to add to it, this is what you can do. And that's what I want to be able to show people too on like, future episodes and things like that. But paying attention to the labels is the hugest thing, and ask questions. Don't be afraid to like Google something quick if you're at the store.
Yeah. Oh,
This
it's
is
so easy now. You
Mhm.
don't even have to
Absolutely.
ask.
That's why I'm
Because I was
saying
gonna
just Google
ask,
it.
what do
Yeah.
you think the top three? What do owners when they pick up a bag, whether it be food, treats,
Mhm.
what are the first three things they should be looking at
They should be
on a
looking at the
label?
protein. Protein.
Protein.
Their
Yeah.
first ingredient is usually protein. What kind
Mhm.
of protein is it? If you have a dog with allergies, you want to stay away from the chicken, possibly the beef. You want to do more of like a novel protein like venison, bison, things like that, because their body hasn't eaten it before. So it doesn't
Yeah.
even know if it has an allergy for it. It's unrecognizable. And so it's new to the body. So you're not having any allergy issues, right?
Yep.
That's another one, a starch. So look for a starch that has a functional purpose to it. So, like oat flour is full of antioxidants and vitamin B. And a matter of fact, if diabetic dogs eat it, it helps to slow the sugar absorption in their body so they don't have spikes. So, white flour would be a no go. You can use like a chickpea flour, but some people, have things about like grains and this and that. And, I'm not there to debate about that. I'm just there to
Hmm.
offer guidance
Hmm.
on what they would like to do for their dogs, and have it be wholesome and healthy. And then obviously a vegetable would be wonderful. And that's where you have to start looking at if you see peas, if you see there's also ingredient splitting. So if you have pea flour, pea protein, they're just fillers. They're just throwing it all in and it's more processed. So you have like things like coconut oil, which is all natural, but then you have oh my God, I just blanked. Glycerin, coconut glycerin, that's over processed. So no, you will not find that in our treats. Coconut glycerin. You will find coconut oil in them because it's all natural.
Hmm.
But that's why people I mentioned, be careful when you're reading these labels. It always looked wonderful to me when I first had my two dogs. Like, yeah, it's got peas and blueberries and cranberries. But then I'm like, wait a minute, it's kibble. It's like a crazy heat. I'm like, this isn't good. So, yeah.
My girls, I had one. I'll tell you another quick story.
Sure.
Uh, Peas. So sometimes we put peas in the food for them.
Yeah, that's good. It's really
She would
healthy.
mush them,
Hmm.
eat the inside, and spit out the shells.
They do?
she did
That is
not, just one,
so
she did
funny.
not like the pea shells, and she would not eat blueberries.
Oh, wow.
She was the funniest little thing. She was like,
That's so funny.
no, I don't
Well,
like
maybe,
peas.
they know. So either they're telling us either that blueberry's bothering my stomach or I'm not appetized by it, one or the
Yeah.
other. You know what I mean? So it's like their own internal system saying, slow down, like don't eat that or,
Mhm.
stay away from that. So absolutely.
This has been really great. I'm so glad
Thank
we
you.
did this.
Me
I want to know
too.
really quick, if
Sure.
someone wants to build a better pet product themselves,
Hmm.
where should they focus first?
Focus on, okay, how do I do it? Okay. So focus on, this is kind of a loaded question. So focus on
Just one
your
thing.
product specifically. What outcomes do you want your consumers to have? What experience do you want your consumers to have with this? And then you can start developing it, but never veer off that, because again, you have a mission. And if you veer off of it, it's never a good thing. So
Yeah.
stick with it and just, stay determined.
Stay determined. That's it. You
Stay
got to stay
determined. Everything's
determined.
an opportunity. That's what I
Do
always
your
say.
research.
Yes, do your research. And if you have friends that are in the industry, call them up, talk about it.
People
Do
do like
your
to tell.
research. You ask people in the neighborhood, like, what do you first look at? Like I've reached out to people saying, what did you first look at when you look at treats? Some look at the packaging, some look at the cost, some look for keywords. Everyone's a
Mhm.
little different, but everyone wants something that works for their
Yeah.
dog. If you promise it, your dog better not be throwing up. Your dog better not have ear infections. Like these things can't happen when you have a great product like that.
Yeah. Well, this has been great. I am so glad that you and I got to do this.
Me
You're the first one I
too.
get to talk nutrition with, which is really
Thank
cool.
you.
And it has been so great having you on the show and talking to us, to our viewers. Hey, better
Thank
outcomes
you.
for pets do not come from better branding and
Yes.
buzzwords. They
Yes.
come from the products and the very informed decisions that you are going
Yes.
to make now that you have watched and
And what
listened
you
to
want
this.
out of it. If you want your dog to have more lean muscle, then you give more protein. I mean, I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm here to support them,
Yeah.
and be all inclusive wellness. So,
All inclusive. This has been the business of pet care. I am Dara Forleo. Marcy, thank you again.
bye.
We will see you next time.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
You too.